Good morning. This is an early morning shave. Messed up my schedule and went to sleep. So this shave's about on an 18-hour growth or something like that. Got my Sheraton 1938 vintage Gillette. I'm using a Zenith B10. It's been soaking for not too long. It's already super soft, just a few minutes. So it doesn't really need a big break-in. We're using my Nacet 144 uses on this guy. And so now we're going to put on 145. Can't wait to get to 150. And here's the clean top side that I'm putting on top. And then here's the bottom. And I'm just doing that for funsies. It doesn't matter how you put them in. I'm just going to see if there's any difference later on. Soap we're going to use is suitable for today, Daybreak, because it's about to be Daybreak. It's a nice scent from Stubble Buster. My biggest complaint from them has been that their soaps don't smell strong enough. And I think they said that was actually intentional. Since these are priced so well, they are great entry-level soaps, and they don't want to offend people's skin sensitivities and things like that. But for me, they kind of puts me off of the whole series because they don't smell almost unscented when you use them. But let's try this guy out. I can't remember if I've tried him before. Shake most of the water out of my Boar brush here. It's part of my Boarathon. And so then we take this used dry puck, and this is one way to do it, not the only way. All right, we're starting at 10, technically 11 seconds, and we'll do a 30-second load. So we'll go to 41. Medium pressure, just a little bit of splay. Some may overflow, and that's okay. Most soaps do well with a 30-second load. Put that in my shaving bowl. Now I'm going to rinse out all the threads here. All right, so here's a 3D printed lather bowl that I've been using and really enjoying, by Roger Quintero, and the links for those files are in the description for you to try to print out if you want to. Leather, pepper, and amber are the three notes listed on the lid of this soap. I don't think my nose is working too well right now. So let's start adding water. A little bit of mixing with just the water that was on the brush. And now we can bring in about 1 teaspoon. I wasn't really worried about the break-in of this brush. It's just breaking in really well, super soft. So it didn't matter that I didn't give it the time that I have given most of the other ones in this Boarathon that I'm doing. Just really enjoying watching these boars break in and change, and they're so soft that I don't really miss my badgers too much. Especially this guy. He broke in pretty short order. Just a few days of uses. Smell that amber. This is a good performing, a well-performing soap. Really pleased with this formulation. I do like the fact that it's a few dollars more than a lot of the other soaps out there, a few dollars less. And it performs really well. So it is a great beginner soap if you like unscented, or if you just like super lightly scented soaps. Now the splashes, the aftershave splashes, are more scented than the soaps, and they are actually enjoyable if you find a scent that you like. I managed to find a couple. I have the matching one for this, which I enjoy, but unfortunately my wife doesn't. I have Coastal as well, and sometimes I enjoy that one. I haven't quite decided. I have Game as well, and they're a different story. They're not lightly scented like the soaps are. There we go. The soap is, well, they're starting to get more hydrated, more properly hydrated. We are almost there. Plenty of lather, nice elasticity. Watch the guy come loose. And yeah, let's try that. Yeah, picking up a little bit of the leather as well. That's good. I'm not really an amber fan, but fortunately it's so lightly scented that this amber doesn't offend me. Another splash of water on my face. Unlike the last few days, this is actually cold water. It's been warm here lately. All right, so that is 3½ teaspoons of water. Excuse me. Brush still has good backbone, and by good I mean middle of the road. It's not too pokey, not shoving my skin around. Tips are nice and soft. My Simode 2000 has softer tips, but that's just because it might be only because it has soaked longer. There was a night where I soaked it for like 18 hours or something like that. Needs a little more water. I find this a lot more convenient than dribbling water in the tips. And I don't have a sink full of water that I can just dip the tips into. See, now there we go. It's thickening up, kind of creaming, becoming more cream-like. We'll do a couple more. I like one, this time I'm just trying one spray at a time, and I kind of like the way it's going because it's not dripping, it's not smattering around. Didn't want to overwater. Yeah, look at all that extra lather that has come up. We just needed some more water. There we go, much nicer. Not picking up much of a scent. Which is really too bad because other than the amber, I really like this profile. All right. Use number 145 of this aging Nacet blade. Little tuggy as usual, but not too bad. And that's only on the first pass. Second and third are very smooth. There we go for the first pass. Little rinse. So as you saw that first pass, I had to add some water to it. So I put another ½ teaspoon in the bowl here of water. So that little globule that I coaxed out of my brush into the bowl, that's a good landmark if you want a lather that's a little too dry for this soap. Not all soaps are the same. Yeah, I'd say that extra ½ teaspoon put me to rights. Nice creamy lather I'm getting. Slippery. Change my direction here on my cheeks. Some people start with this cross grain direction, so you can figure out what you like to do. I start with the grain direction instead of a cross grain. Nice thing about this soap is I have a nice residual secondary lather, secondary slickness that lets me buff, then go back over an area right after I've shaved it once. If you like longer shaves, with more passes, I've done that, and with this old blade I did like a 4-pass shave, and it was almost just as effective. But what I did was I just went over an area once. I didn't do any buffing, so it took 4 passes. All right, we'll rinse. little half rinse. Third pass. So that 30-second load proved to be plenty, because I'll use this for my third pass, and then I've still got 2 or 3 left. And yeah, it's really almost imperceptible, the scent here when it's lathered on your face. Yeah, very, very low. Just lightly. Just kind of barely. I'm not putting any pressure. Some guys who run their blades as long as I do, they start having to press to be able to get that good cut. And I mean, you know, that's up to you, but that can get you in trouble, because then you change your habits. I'm continuing to just have a light touch. That way, when I switch back to a normal blade of 30 or 10, 5 uses, I don't cut myself. Excellent. A little bit of touch up right there. Excellent. So unfortunately, it's really lightly scented. I'll probably pass this puck on. I think I've got another one, Resolute. Maybe that's the one where I actually can kind of smell it. Moxie was really light, kind of similar to this one, not really discernible during the shave. A wonderful scent when I put my nose in the tub, like this one, but not really available during the shave. I think many of us thought that this Stubble Buster line was going to be a real boon to the shaving industry, because it came around right when a great introductory line was ending. Bstr and Man discontinued their Lather line that they'd had for so long. It was an inexpensive entry, and it had great scents. Pretty standard, not really complex scents, but enjoyable, and they were definitely present when you were shaving. And so this guy kind of failed in that regard. But for people who like lightly scented or have sensitive skin, then Stubble Buster is definitely a winner. But I don't usually recommend it for new guys, because I mean, people shave and they want to smell something, in my opinion. So I would, since they're basically nigh unscented, I would rather use an Arco stick or you know, something like that for a much lower price. Haslinger also has some nice hard pucks that last a good while, and they have probably more scent than these guys, and they're probably about the same price or less. So I might recommend those. Sandalwood, honey, some different sage, aloe. They have several different scent options. Sella is pretty cheap, especially if you buy it in the 1 kilogram form, and it has this great almond cherry type scent. Classic Italian crope, been around for a very long time. No preservatives, so you have to be careful. And if you get that 1 kilogram block, put it in a Ziploc bag and store it well wrapped up. Don't let air get to it, and it'll last a good long time. So there are other options that I might put forward to a new person instead of, unfortunately, this line. But it's made by Chiseled Face. the makers of Chiseled Face, which is Grumatorium, and the performance is very good, as I've already said. Chiseled Face stuff is good too. Tiki Bar, all those are under Grumatorium, and they do a really nice job. Now, Chiseled Face is different. You definitely get the scents on that one. So I'm sure that's why they chose, that has something to do with their choice to make this line a little bit less scented. All right, well, I'm just going to clean up, and face feels great. No irritation, no nicks. Nice close shave. So it's a nice performing soap in terms of results as well as feel during the shave. I believe maybe they bleached these fibers on this Zenith. I just finished stropping it on the towel, and it you can see it springs back nicely, but not too harshly, back into position. Tips are soft, although not too many of them have split. And so this guy is going to get even better by exponential factors as those hairs start to split. So we used 4 teaspoons of water for that 30-second load, and I could probably back that down to 20 seconds maybe and not have a problem, and have still a good amount of lather to work with. So the Nacet, 145 uses, and it just is still performing. It's still comfortable. It's still cutting me well. Nice, close, flush shaves. Just couldn't be happier, really. All right, well, there we go. Oh, post shave. Let's see what we have. I'm gonna go back to bed for a couple hours, and I wanted to shave now so that hopefully I can shave tonight too, since I kind of skipped a little bit. And so since I'm going to go back to bed, I'm not going to put anything on that's harsh. Matter of fact, this has some chamomile. This is Lucky Tiger, and it is a tonic, an orange type scented tonic, and so it doesn't have alcohol. It's got nice things for your skin. There we go. Aloe, calendula, chamomile, things like that. I like it a lot. All right. So I'm going to finish cleaning up. Yeah, there we go. We're all happy. That brush is coming along nicely. I think that it was remarkable, the 2000 that I used previous to this, with such a long soak, so many, and sure enough, after I washed, those hairs kind of worked their way and split and open. It has definitely split a lot more than this one. And so because of that long soak, probably it has edged its way up pretty well in terms of softness ahead of this guy. They're kind of neck and neck for a while. But that's okay with 13 uses now on this one. It's definitely young, and the tips haven't even started to really split in a big way yet. So it is, that comfort is forthcoming. All right. Blade's still doing well, 145. It's easily going to make it to 150, probably make it to 180. You know, just the way the blade looks like it's going. It's just still plenty sharp, blade buffing, but you know, I'm not going to say for sure, because at some point it does have to start degrading and not cutting quite so well, right? And who knows when that'll be. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that there was something here that helped you out. You take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.